Success Never Sleeps, sponsored by My Studio, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. All right. Welcome. I am Brannon Beliso. It is Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast. This is Success Never Sleeps. We're hanging out in the mothership. This is my virtual studio. That's why you see all this white back here. But normally I can make it groovy if I'm in Zoom and add this really cool background. I have to figure out how to do that in Be Live, K1. I think that'd be a cool thing. As you come aboard, do say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Focus for me there. Thank you very much. Tell me your name, where you're tuning in from. What's the name of your school? We are sponsored by who? We are sponsored by Market Muscles. We are sponsored by LC Accounting, My Studio, Kids of Life. So look at that cool slide. These are our sponsors. I'm very grateful and proud to everybody at My Studio, Market Muscles, Kids of Life Skills, LC Accounting, rocking it out, holding it down, and making it matter. Cool. Well, hey, we are back to our format of, wow, look at that. That's kind of crazy. I got 4 on a screen at once. How'd I do that? I'm rocking and rolling. Yeah, I'm loving Be Live. It's got a lot of cool things. So I see you up in the corner. Can you put in your name, put in where you're tuning in from? Because you're entered into our automatic drawing. And in that drawing, we're giving away something super cool. We're giving away what? Oh, there it goes again. Oh, because you're in control, huh? Okay. See, that's because I'm in. Hey, Sensei Mish, what's happening, sir? How's it going? A 1-hour phone call with me, Brannon. It's a $300 coaching fee waived, and it's pretty powerful. I think the success of what I do, other than 58 years of life experience, 30 years of owning different businesses, buying and selling them. I've owned businesses since I was 22. And it's not just martial arts. I had a DJ company for 10, 15 years. I had a music career, a fitness career. I've had several businesses. So I understand small business really well. I understand how to fail. I understand how to succeed. So I bring that to the table. But I think what's most unique is in the moment, being very present with a lot of streetwise and common sense. I believe I come up with very positive solutions and actionable steps that can help you better your life and your business. So that's what's really fun about the Q&A that we get to do that I'm most proud of. Sensei Mish is Vancouver, Washington. Who do we got? Sensei Danny, chosen from LA or Louisiana. Which one? Then we got Flagstaff, Arizona, Maximum Martial Arts. Come on, put it in there. And the minute you put in your name, you put that in there, then everybody will know that you're here and you're entered into that drawing. Hey, did you share it? Make sure you share it with everybody. With everybody. Cool. So let's get this party started. What's our first question, K1? Because we're back to the Q&A format. It's a format I love. That's why I like being in this moment. All right. How do you connect with virtual members and keep them engaged, especially the little ones? Nicholas, from day one, we really understood that if we were going to succeed virtually, it really was about engagement and connectivity. Right? We've heard that word. You want to connect with people and then you want to engage them. So how do we connect with them to begin with? First, say hello, say their name, look them in the eye, compliment them on their room, compliment them on what they're doing, look at their house, say things, everybody's got to hear their name. Give them a virtual high five. That's important, but you need to be relentless. Right? You can't just say it once and walk away. We know the 3x3 rule for on the mat, right? You say their name. Focus. You say their name, you make eye contact 3 times and positive praise 3 times. And now we can't do virtual, we can't physically give somebody a high five, so it's virtual. So I'm very passionate about making sure when we're online, whether it's private lesson or otherwise, that the level of engagement is high. It's high. So I think number one, we know to say their name. We know we need to connect with them by acknowledging the room that they're in, make comments about, their haircut, things like that. Hey, look at your dog. All that stuff that connects. You see mom, you talk to mom. That's what I think has been huge success. I had a mom in here the other day. Focus. Is that better? There you go. I had a mom in here the other day and she was literally in tears. And she said to me, thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, socially, my son, we were in this SIP. So they're very grateful that we're able to connect with their kids, say their name. They're watching their kids progress. I think that's a big one too, Nicholas. If the kids aren't progressing, then you're going to fail. And I kid you not, we have people calling us right now saying, please don't stop the virtual. I signed up a new student the other day. He's an old student of ours that moved to San Diego that found out because we're doing this text campaign right now, and all these people had opted out of our emails, but now they're getting physical texts and they know that we're doing online classes. We signed up a student in San Diego, a regular paying student. And that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. But the minute I saw that kid, the first thing I did was say his name like 100 times in this lesson. I talked to mom actively during this evaluation. I complimented him on his stances, what he remembered, and making sure that you give it in smaller chunks when you're teaching curriculum. And you want to have a monitor. If you're using a big class, Nicholas, of students, we always have a second person sitting at the computer monitoring it, telling us, hey, look at little Johnny, upper left hand corner, he's not engaged. Look at little Jimmy, he walked out of the room. Because this instructor's teaching and he sees 25 little squares. So having a second set of eyes has been incredible in our group classes. Private lessons are easy, right? They're one-on-one, Nicholas, so that's not an issue. But in a group class, you need a monitor. You need a second pair of eyes. That has been powerful. Highlighting and spotlighting, that's been a big one for us as well. To be able to spotlight somebody on the screen. I did that this morning in kickboxing. We were doing a certain drill. I said, who could kick higher than so-and-so? Boom, I spotlighted her video. And she started smiling, right? So highlighting and spotlighting goes a long way too. Cool. I hope that's just the tip of the iceberg. If you look at my distance learning webinar I did, the 3-hour one, I go in depth on that. So you really want to get that. K1 can post that, send you a link so that you can pick up that e-learning, because I go over equipment, I go over all those different things. Yeah, the one on not the distance learning camps. Oh, how to get 550 online students. Right now, we're closing in on 600 students. So that's really, really cool, and we're grateful for that. All right, next question. Hey, what's up, Letitia? Who else is here? I see a lot of people up in the eyeball. Please get in there. Tell me your name, where you're tuning in from. That'd be super cool. All right? Super cool. And share this. Everybody sharing this? Make sure you share this. All right, next question. As an industry, what are we doing too much of, and what are we not doing enough of? Wow. Huh. That's a good one. I think there's a number of things. We're doing too much whining and complaining and moaning at social media. I think that's a big one, especially here in California. I see a lot of school owners whining and moaning about the state we're in, what's going on and why we're closed, and it's a political thing. Don't do that. Don't spend any of your time doing that. I share this. It's like Elvis Presley, who was one of the biggest entertainers, right? The king of rock and roll. And he was in this interview I saw, and they asked him, well, what do you think about this? About the political situation. What he said, he looked at them and said, hey, man, I'm just an entertainer. Ask me about my album, ask me about singing. I got nothing to do with that. I think we should take the same stance. We really, really should. And believe me, I've got it really tough here, right? Really tough. We've been closed for 6 months. We're just now opening for indoor classes in San Francisco. So if anybody could climb on a soapbox and complain, I could. But I choose not to do that because I don't believe that's inspiring to my students and my parents, nor does it, create positivity. We know there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of cynicism out in the world right now. So it's really in our best interest to have a stiff upper lip, put a big smile on your face, and get out there and make the best of what you've been given. So we're doing too much of that, right? I think the second thing is the whole debate. I had somebody reach out to me the other day and ask me how to do virtual, because they're still sitting there with their buddies going, you can't learn martial arts virtually. You can't learn martial arts virtually. Well, what are we going to do? That's a waste of energy and time. If my commitment is to make a difference in a child's life, and the only way I'm being given is virtual, we're going to amplify it. We're going to 10x it. We're going to lean into it, which we have. And we're closing in on 600 students virtually now, to the point where we have people saying, I want to stay virtual. We're getting it from kickboxing. We're getting it in private lessons. We're getting it in our group classes. So we're developing this new tribe. We're developing another vertical, another revenue stream that was never there before. So why would we eliminate that as doors start opening back up? No, no, no. Right now we have indoor, outdoor, virtual, and we're going to run all three of them. And I believe we're going to create even more revenue because of it. So that's what I think we're doing too much of. And I think predicting and guesstimating and wondering, I think we're doing too much of that, too much of overthinking. I think whatever we're given, time, speed is of the essence. So if they tell you can open safely, make sure you're prepared for that and you pivot hard into that. If they shut you down and give you the park, boom, you pivot hard back into that. Right? If they tell you can open up indoor, you pivot hard into that. But make no mistake, make sure you're set up with the Department of Health. Make sure you follow all guidelines to the T, to the T, to the T. I think that's really, really important more now than ever. Cool. So, what do we need to do more of? I think we need to become more of a critical thinker. Absolutely. We need to empty our cups and open our mind and embrace this brave new world, because if we truly think it's going to be the way it was, it will never be the way it was. Never, because you will always have this new audience that wants virtual. That was never there before, and now it is. The fear and uncertainty that comes with this pandemic, that was never there before, and there are some people that are afraid that have still not left their house that will only do virtual. So that's new, right? Here in California, we have all these fires, waking up to the sky being like, "Oh, I've never seen that in my life." So the normal that we know will never be there. And really the art that we need to do more of is embracing this brave new world, pivoting hard into it and making the best of it. The best of it, the best of it. My kids had pretty good birthdays because we made the best of what we were given and did a drive-by thing. We bought out this one indoor playhouse for just him, my son, and 12 of his friends, right? Because that's what they were allowed. So I think it's really about that, doing more of that, being more of a critical thinker, being more of a thought leader, be more of a disruptor, right? Creating new things and embracing that fully, not a little bit, fully. Right? 6 months ago, I knew nothing about virtual. I would consider myself pretty, adequate at speaking about virtual, how to teach it, how to get the right equipment, everything. I didn't know that 6 months ago. I recognize it and it's there. And if you try to look at the way things, look at technology, right? Look at Zoom. Zoom was just doing what it did really well, being a disruptor. Boom. Now Zoom, its stock is up high. Look at Apple, right? Look at Tesla. When you watch two rockets land back on the launching pad, when before you'd watch a $40 million rocket just fall into the ocean you could never use again. So technology is something I think we need to do more of as well, in a good way. If you don't have a great app like My Studio, you need a great app. If you don't have a killer cutting edge website like Market Muscles, you need to get it. And make no mistake, we are leaders in life skills education. We need to become that. And if we don't become that, then we're going to fall to the wayside. 40% of the martial arts schools have closed is the numbers I'm hearing. By the time this whole thing's over and the recovery happens, I would say we're going to be close to 60. So the 40% that are standing can pick up that 60% from everybody being closed. Now, I know that's a little harsh, but the reality is I'm paying attention to that. So all those schools that are closing around us here, all those students will come to us if we're in the position to receive them outdoors, indoors, and virtually. All three platforms I think should be there, because we're nickel and diming it right now. We're getting a little bit from online, well, a lot from online. We're getting a little bit with outdoors. We're getting a little bit in class. So all three revenue streams, we need to do more of that and do it really, really well. Cool. I hope that answers. Hey, what's up, Conrad, Marco, Adam from the UK? Mr. Quadra from Oklahoma. Hey, if you're here, say hi. Let me know you're there, because I'm real grateful to know who I'm sharing time with. Cool. All right. What's our next questions? And please put your questions down in the right-hand corner in the comments. I welcome them. Please, please, please. Birthday parties. How could we begin to hold these for people while practicing social distancing with them? Or are schools not doing these yet? Marco, I know people that are starting to roll out birthday parties. I know Virginia's doing it. I think she's allowed 10 kids in her facility, and that's it. It's kind of like just not enough. What parent doesn't want to sing happy birthday, at least with, individual cupcakes in a plastic sealed box? Their kid gets a cupcake with a candle on it. What would that look like? I've already been thinking about that, because this number is going to go from 10 kids in a class to 50 in a room up to 100, just the way it shut us down. Right? Everybody remember that? You could have like a gathering of 1,000, then the gathering of 500, then a gathering of 250, then pretty soon we were shut down. I think it's going to ramp up that way. So what I want to be able to look at is, what does that look like? If I'm a parent, do I want to sit outside in my car and watch my kids playing on Zoom? Absolutely not. I don't think that'll happen in a day or ever. No one's going to pay you premium dollar for that. So I believe we're going to hold off, until we can have 50 people in the room. And when we can do 50, then we'll acknowledge that with the parent. We'll be clear about that and we'll follow all the CDC guidelines. And I believe if we can earn that trust where people feel confident with that, I believe we're going to put ourselves in better shape. But what's that like? You see your auntie, you're going to run up to them. There's no 6 feet of social distancing, right? It's just not going to happen. So we need to be in a position, I believe, open wise, where we can do that. Where we held my son's birthday, right? They can't serve food, they can't do cake. So essentially, it was 6 kids and 6 parents. Us parents sat there with masks on, 6 feet apart, talking while our 6 kids had this big giant play structure for an hour and a half. Okay. Then we went home after. Remember we've been social potting with these two families for the past 6 months. We made that commitment, so we don't mind. Well, we don't mind. We feel safe about being around them. So I think birthday parties are not gone, but it's going to need to be reinvented. I believe we're going to see pizza individually wrapped in slices in little plastic boxes for each child. I believe we're going to see that. We're going to see cupcakes individually wrapped. I believe we're going to see goodie bags that are inside a plastic Ziploc bag that a parent can say, I had gloves on and a mask when I assembled these things. I think we're going to see things like that. Temperature checks will always be a norm when they come in. I believe that. I believe taking off your shoes, sanitizing the hands, that's going to happen. I'm even considering putting a wash station up front at the front door, right? You have to fill it with water or with a hose every night, but I could see that happening too and creating that type of environment. It's all about safety. And if I feel safe in your place, then I'll have a birthday party. But I'm already looking at that. What would that look like? How many people safely in the room? What the different spots will be for parents to sit in so they're 6 feet apart, right? They will never all gather in a little bitty room and eat pizza afterwards in our activity room and do happy birthday. I believe it's got to stay out in the open. I believe we need to maximize that social distancing by having markers on the floor, markers on the seats, so everybody knows where they can sit, where they can stand, right? Yeah. Yeah. But will it eventually get back to birthdays? Absolutely. Look at Florida. You know, I see people with their after school program wide open. Kids are rolling on each other, no masks. It'll get to that point. Absolutely. 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 So there are people out there doing birthday parties. We're just not at that point here yet. Yet. Cool. All right. So let me take a moment and thank our sponsor right there, My Studio, the app, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, right? And LC Accounting. Hey, and I want to invite everybody to It's Time Live Elevate, the virtual event. Every time I even say it, the hair on my arm stands up. It's Time Live Elevate, the virtual event, November 14th and 15th. It's unlike anything I've ever done. It's not geared simply for the martial arts industry. I'm a martial artist first and foremost, but this is going to be some of the most disruptive learning that I'm cultivating for personal development, for small business owners, and for companies. And why is this so important now more than ever? Because if you're one of those 40% of those martial arts schools that are here and you're trying to do it the same old way, you're going to fall in with that 60% real quickly. Because if it's not a pandemic, it's going to be something else. So I really believe we as the martial arts industry are in a unique position to totally reinvent ourselves, right? To be ready for the brave new world. What's it going to look like in 2021? What's it going to look like in 2022? I'm in California. I've never seen fires like this year after year after year growing up. So that's new. So what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that look like? New types of filters in our air conditioning to filter the air. What does that look like? What does all of that look like moving forward? Masks are going to become norm because of the fires here. What is that going to look like? Getting my logo on a good mask and having that for promo because everybody's wearing masks when they go out now, right? Think about that. So it's a brave new world, but it's really a mindset thing that I'm discussing. Why am I engaged? Why am I positive when we're in the worst position of any other martial arts school having been closed 6 months? Because you can take away and shut my doors, but you can't take this away. You can't take this away. And those are the two things I need to work strategically with business and all the rest to not only survive, but thrive. So cultivating that mindset for this brave new world and creating systems of service to cater to this new virtual slash fear, uncertain, all that. It's going to be intense. It's going to be unlike anything. You and your team can come in from one price, enjoy that. I want to help people embrace this. We know alcoholism, suicide, domestic violence, drug addiction, depression. It's at the all-time high, and that's because the inability. Now, people that have chemical dependencies and they're on Prozac, I'm not discussing them, but the ability to adapt, to pivot, to embrace this, a lot of people do not have the skill set. Therapists and psychiatrists are making money hand over fist right now because people do not have the skill set to adapt, to pivot, to accept, to embrace. And it's happening with business owners too. The suicide rate, we had a restaurateur here, owned a bunch of restaurants. This guy killed himself. That should not be happening. That should not be happening. So I'm very passionate about that as an individual and as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, to help you cultivate that mindset. So get signed up. Get signed up right away. Cool. Don, good afternoon. Don, what's happening, sir? From Success. Any questions in the comments I'm missing? Please let me know that. And do put your questions in. This Q&A is just rocking. It's a rocking thing, but you got to have questions, right? Pop those questions in there for me. All right. So here we go. What's the next question? That's Jesse. That's a really good one. Are you charging regular prices for any new Zoom student you get? Absolutely. Absolutely. We had that student sign up from San Diego yesterday or the day before. He is paying us $209 a month. That's what we normally charge for a twice a week program if we were coming to the school. $209 a month. Now, what I saw right away from day one is if you're going to teach virtually, you better teach as good virtually, if not better, than you do live. But still the argument, my Tiger Claw is better than your, Tiger. Just crazy. And to sit at a table with people, no, you can't learn virtually. It sucks. Jiu-jitsu doesn't translate virtually. Well, if that's the only thing you're giving me, I'm going to make it happen. So I think right away, you need to make sure whatever you offer in the learning, right down to the lighting, the cameras, the sound system, the green screen, all that presentation needs to be optimal. I had a friend visit me, and he's teaching a private on his little freaking cell phone sitting on the corner of the floor at an angle. I'm going, time's up, pencils down. That is awful. That is awful. Well, it's all I got, sir. Then you should have canceled the darn private lesson. Well, I needed to make the money. You're going to lose the client. All I see is your big foot, and you're all distorted. You can't teach that way. You see where I'm going with this? So I think that's the first thing. Second, we recognize I was teaching a class, one of my first group classes, and this little girl sat down on the couch and started to cry because she was frustrated. That would have never happened in a live class, right? So I looked over. I don't know who was with me. I said, please call her dad right now, and you schedule a 30-minute private with me for tomorrow. I did a one-on-one with her. Parents were happy, fully engaged. Aha moment on my part. We're going to create free 15-minute private lessons instantly. That's the first thing we did. So we were running close to 100 15-minute private lessons a week now, and they're free. So when I was talking to this mom and this young man from San Diego the other day, I let him know that. You know what's something new that we offer, which was never there before? We offer a complimentary 15-minute private lesson anytime that you need it. Anytime, anytime. But the technology, where's my phone? But I said to her, what I want you to do is download our app. So she downloaded the app. She goes, okay, great. I said, I want you to, can you see that? I don't know if you can say, okay, I want you to go right there, right, into the app, click on curriculum. She clicked on curriculum. What does it say right at the top? Oh, we got to change out that Wave Master bag and put a virtual private there. So you see that? Boom, virtual privates. I said, click on virtual privates. She said, oh, great. 15-minute private lesson. Look at that. Tap here to schedule virtual private lesson in our calendar. She clicked on that. She went in here and she scheduled the private instantly. So see, that's an example of leveraging technology, but service all in one. How does that serve? I'm a parent. My kid's frustrated. They're not getting it. Well, guess what? Now they just take out their phone. They go in there. They schedule that private. I'm empowered. I have a solution as a parent. You served me well. And you know what I visualize? Imagine when we're fully open again. right? And this dad's sitting there. We've all been there. You're teaching that class, right? You see their kids not getting it. Dad's sitting there, the jaws are clenched, and all you look in his eyes is, I'm going to quit this freaking place. I'm going to quit this freaking place. I'm going to quit this freaking place. My kid's not getting this. This sucks, right? We've all been there. And you're trying to teach this class. And you just want to run up to dad or give this kid a private lesson in the middle of this group class, right? Right? But now that parent will just sit there and whip out their phone and go, ba-da-da-da-da-da, boom, virtual private, problem solved. So moving forward, that's an example of how we're pivoting into this brave new world. So mom went, wow, really? Now remember, when you had a group membership with us, you never got 15-minute privates like that. Never, never, ever, ever. Not right there at your will, where you can whip out your phone through our app and book it. So there's an example how we're leveraging technology in this brave new world and still able to charge $209 a month virtually. Cool. So yes, we are charging full price. Absolutely. The only one we didn't was for virtual fitness kickboxing. Why? I'll tell you why. Because you're dealing with Peloton, you're dealing with all these other prime programs, you're dealing with, I can just go to YouTube and watch a free video. But they're live classes. And the reason I believe that tribe is growing, because we will say your name in that fitness kickboxing class. We will talk to you. We will encourage you. We'll beat you up. We'll do all those things, which don't happen when I'm watching a pre-recorded YouTube video. They're never going to say my name. They're never going to tell me to bend my knee. They're never going to tell me I'm doing a great job, right? Not with my name in front of it. So that's what's really cool. So that was the one thing we did. Lower was our fitness kickboxing, and that's $20 a week to week. But our martial arts programs, we never dropped the price. Never. We just added more value. So please, don't shoot yourself in the foot by thinking people will not pay you top dollar virtually. I do webinars and people pay me $99, and I watch other people doing webinars for free and for $9. That doesn't happen. Content is content. And if you're delivering it in a high manner, with a lot of value, why wouldn't you pay me that? So again, you need to determine what you're worth, but you better back it up with something of value, right? You got to back it up. You got to back it up. Thank you, Ashton. Ashton's loving it. Hey, Ivan, Canada in the house. Awesome. 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 Guys, put your questions in. Everybody's so busy taking notes from all these good questions that have been given us. Real time, folks. What's some of your real time questions? Who's going to be brave enough to pop one in there for me? Anybody? And while we're waiting for that, again, what are we giving away today, K1? We're giving away a 1-hour phone call with me, valued at $300. I've done consulting work for Facebook, Lululemon, Stanford Healthcare, UCSF Medical Center, Microsoft. So my range is pretty wide, and a lot of it's just good common sense. Common sense. Growing up in the street, that street sense, it's a combination of that and learning. I read constantly. I try things. I fail. I'm the first one to say, this sucks. I'm willing to be that guinea pig, because failure is part of success. So I really love failure. Is that a trip? I love failure. And so socially, find me everywhere, right? If I leverage social media to the hilt. Social content, right? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Group, join our disruptor group for the new people. Be part of my It's Time mentoring group. And events, It's Time Live. We normally do them live twice a year, but this one's a virtual event. And then my webinars. See, so all these different things. Here's an example how I'm leveraging social media and different platforms to develop these different revenue streams, right? You can do the same thing. You can do the exact same thing with your school. How do I do that? Private lessons. How do I do that? Live, virtual classes. How do I do that? Become an expert in life skills. I had Jason the other day, and he was talking to me, and he goes, well, I'm a little just stagnant right now. And I said, great. Let's have a discussion. Put it in the comments. How many of you have after school programs where kids are dropped off to you? After school programs where kids are dropped off to you. And Mish, I'll answer that question in a minute. Put it in there. After school programs where kids are being dropped off to you. So Mish, this is what I'm reading right now. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. Yep. I'm only an hour and 25 minutes into it. I got another 7 hours, but I love Seth Godin's work. It's very powerful for me. So that's what I'm listening to now. But if you want to see my library, I'll show you my library. We have This is Marketing, Seth Godin, Happiness by Thich Nhat Hanh, The Purple Cow by Seth Godin, Peace in Every Step, Tit Not Han, right? I mean, the five dysfunctions. That's a big one for me. The five dysfunctions of a team, right? I'm into so I like to read things simultaneously. The Disney Way was a big one, right? Leaders Eat Last, The Pumpkin Plan by Mike Malkowitz. His first book, uh, Crushing It, Gary Vee was a big one for me. This thing's talking to me. On and on, Mish. But as you can see, I'm a very active. Now I don't read so much as I do listen to books on tape. Um, yeah, yeah, yep. Yep. But it's a long book. And often with audio, I don't like to speed it up. I think that's lame because if it was meant to be sped up, then it would be delivered that way. There's something unique about sound and timbre being a musician. I like it. So I like listening to audiobooks. I even like it better when the actual author is reading it. It's very powerful to hear Seth Godin talk to me. Simon Sinek narrates his own books. And I enjoy listening to Simon Sinek as well. Anything by Simon Sinek is also super powerful. Great. Anybody? No, nobody has an after school where the bus pulls up and drops the kids off. Well, somebody does. Ivan does. You pick up kids at your after school. Great. Well, Ivan, for Jason, the school district has the yellow bus pull right up to his door, right? And on that bus is 50 kids. So I asked him this question: how many kids get off that bus at that stop and come into your school for after school? He said 13. I said, you got 37 kids on that bus. What would it look like if when that bus pulled up, you got on that bus, right, with a video, with your phone, somebody videotaping, and you promoted little Johnny who just earned his belt right there on the bus in front of everybody? And he looked at me and his eyes got big. Yeah. What would that look like? What would that look like if you gave, driver John his favorite Starbucks drink as he's making tough rounds at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? What would that look like? What would that look like if you said, hey, man, driver John said everybody's really loud when he's trying to drive this bus. Anybody tomorrow that driver John says did a rocking job on this route, I'm going to award a teamwork badge to. What would that look like? What would that look like if you got the okay to have Buddy Fridays where everybody on this bus, if you're one of the 13 kids that are part of my after school program and you want to invite a friend to come hang out in after school for that day, what would that look like, Buddy Friday? See, I'm a big what if guy, right? I'm a big what if guy. What if? What would that be like if every Friday those 37 extra kids could get off that bus and hang out with you? Right, for free, and then the parents pick them up there and you got a captive audience when the parent walks through the door. What if? What if? Right, you could do all those things, and his wheels are turning, going ding 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 ding. I said, all you have to do, I mean, it's common sense. The bus is pulling up with 50 kids, 13 of them get off and they're yours. Now, without holding up the bus, what would that look like? What if I could step onto that bus and go, all right, everybody on this bus, who could say focus, sir? And everybody screams out, focus, sir. And we're videotaping this, right? Social media. All right, focus means pay attention. Look with your eyes. And I do a quick mat chat with all these kids on the bus, right? Then I give them all one of our focus coloring sheets to take home and color, right? And I say, you give this to me tomorrow. I'm going to pick a winner and give you a $25 gift card to Barnes and Nobles. So make sure you color it tonight and bring it back. And on the back of this freaking coloring sheet is what? A call to action. Or something simple. This coloring sheet courtesy of One Martial Arts. Have your kid color it and bring it back tomorrow. We're going to be giving away a membership if they do. Boom. I mean, what if? What if? It goes on and on and on. Everybody taking notes on that? I know Jason took lots of notes. He was loving that. Loving that. Put those questions in, all right? Put them in, put them in. All right. Give me the next question, K1. What do we got? Should we stop trials? Yeah, there you go. Should we stop trials on and go? Well, what's that? Ebonics? Oh, that's from Lorenzo. No wonder. Should we stop trials on and go straight to memberships in just one class? Seems to be working instead of asking for a cheaper entry price. I feel like they are committing more. One day it's 6 weeks for $69. Next time it's do 2 private lessons, and then sign them up. Why? I don't think there's a right or wrong, Lorenzo. There really isn't. We try different things. Right now, we're doing a program where everybody got a text offering them a 10-day pass. And we had all these old students. That's how we got the one in San Diego. They had opted, they had unsubscribed out of our emails, and then they get this text saying that we have virtual, online, and in person classes. So they connected. So what we're doing right now is a 10-day pass. Our goal is we tell them if you sign up after the first class, your first month is $99 and you get a uniform worth $55. After that, it rolls directly into $169 at once a week or $209 for twice a week. If you choose to do the full 10 days, you can do that. It runs consecutively. Attend whatever classes you can in 10 days. But after that, you buy a uniform and pay $209 or $169. That's what we're doing right now. We're getting a lot of action. So far, I think we've signed up one student. No, three. Yeah, no, probably more. Like half a dozen in the past 4 days, right? Because I've done three intros, two signed up out of that. The kid from San Diego and a couple of kickboxers. San Francisco signed up a couple. Yeah. So it's working, right? It's working. But what works one day in advertising will not work tomorrow in advertising. Why? Can I tell you why? Especially with Facebook ads, the algorithms are always changing, right? Watch Social Dilemma. It's a really great documentary about this whole thing because the algorithms are always taking in data, 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 data. With all the fires here, you have no idea how much people are pitching insurance at Facebook, right? And this and that. And do you have a lawsuit now against da 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 because of these fires? More masks, different things, everything pertaining to protecting yourself from these fires. I'm seeing in my feed. Da, 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 da. And it's not because I prescribe to it. That's a demographic thing. The algorithms. Oh, what happened? That was weird. It just went 3, 2, 1. Am I still there? Oh, good. I'm still there. All right. So understand that. So, Lorenzo, what works today doesn't work tomorrow. I say try it. If you fail, come back and tell me it doesn't work because then I'll find somebody in Florida that will say it works for me fine. So it's different with everyone. I think what's wrong is when these marketers tell you I'm the expert. Oh, man. I'm the expert. If I hear that freaking one more time, I think I'm going to throw up. You're not the expert. You're in the same boat with the rest of us. You do the same split testing because you don't know A from B, which one's going to work. And then you gather data. And once you gather data, guess what? The algorithm pivots left, and now you got to gather more data, and it changes and you changes. That's why every day every marketer has the new secret sauce, the new secret sauce, the new secret sauce. You know why? If marketing was one dimensional, we'd only need the marketing guy once, and we have the secret sauce, and we're done. Right? But that's part of the whole guys is if I change the marketing techniques every day, I as a marketer, I'm always 2 steps ahead of you and I'm the expert, right? I say know your tribe, know your tribe really well, know your demographic really well, understand their pain points and their needs, and then speak to them with you being the solution all day, every day, right? I'm running a new ad right now as a side thing, and it's going straight to my guys in San Francisco to do quick 15-minute intros. And the headline says, what does Harvard, Stanford, UC Berkeley, and Cornell have in common? Well, those are top universities. All have students who have earned black belts at one martial arts. If I'm an educated parent, if I'm a parent that invests in my child, I know he's technology savvy. I don't know anybody that's very successful today that doesn't embrace technology. So guess what? I want to pick up students in New York, Texas, everywhere now, virtually, because we produce winners. They get their child could go to Harvard. Go to Stanford if they're part of one martial arts. They could go to Cornell if they're part of one martial arts and earns a black belt. And if that doesn't work, I'll pivot into something else, right? But don't be afraid. Remember the guy who's the expert? He wasn't an expert when he was freaking 10 years old. All he did was take some class, read a Russell Bronson book, and everybody's an expert. You notice that? Everybody at Facebook is a freaking marketing expert. And I think that's lame because it's not true. You're not. You're not. And I've worked with tons of these marketers. And when the day's done, we end up knowing more than they do, right? Because there's nothing they have that I don't. I tell you this all the time. There ain't nothing I can't give you. You can't give yourself. You just have to be willing to go out there, do the research, gather the data, do trial and error, right? We've done all the homework for you. We've done all the mistakes. We've messed up. That's a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of crap. You know what? We're all making the same mistakes in this brave new world. Nobody has the answers because it's in a whole new situation. Boom, done. And I'm going to say that passionately. So what if? All right? Cool. Come on, somebody give me a question. We got lots of questions, but I want to see a live question. Give me a live question in the moment. Who's going to step up to the plate? All right, what's next, K1? I am excited to open, but I am concerned for the flu season. Should we prepare to go back to or remain virtual? No, you never stop virtual. If anything, like with our new ads, we are 10xing virtual. I would say out of the dozen or half dozen students we've signed up in the past week, John, they've been virtual. Virtual. We had this one kid sign up, Aiden. Mom says, I just want virtual. The one in San Diego, just virtual. My kickboxers at 9 a.m. are screaming, from Florida, do not stop virtual. Please do not take the foot off. Don't take the gas off virtual because you're teaching live. We're in the most unpredictable time we've ever been in. We were already shut down once in Millbrae, twice in Millbrae, and now we're being allowed to open back up. So if I collect data, shut down twice in the past 6 months, there's a good chance I can be closed again. Do not stop virtual. Do not stop it. Do not stop it. If anything, if you're a smart entrepreneur, you're going to recognize virtual as another revenue stream for you, another revenue stream. Okay? Be mindful of that, right? Be mindful of that. So do not stop virtual. If anything, amplify virtual. Make it part of your mainstay. Make it part of your culture. Make it part of what you do. Visualize this. I'm a mom, all right? My kid has a private lesson at your school. In San Francisco, cross town could be 30, 40 minutes. I'm sitting at home trying to finish up, a meeting. One sibling's not feeling well. He's teething. He's moaning and groaning. You know how awesome it would be just to pick up that freaking phone and go, hey, you know what? We're not going to make it in person today. Can we just hop on virtually? And we go, yes, you can. Our private lessons, our paid private lessons have quadrupled, John, on a monthly basis. Because now, guess what? People don't have to come into the school. It's convenient. So we're finding people are able to train later because they don't have to deal with the drive time going home. Yeah, so it's opened up a whole new world. So, then as far as the flu season, let's look at that for a moment. Never in the history of mankind have more people been getting flu shots, first of all. Number two, our social awareness is so much higher than it's ever been. So I believe the flu season is going to be a lot less. Why? We're wearing masks. Why? We're social distancing. Why? We're washing our hands. So I think we're going to be in much better shape in this flu season than we've probably been in decades. And it's just data, right? If we're all wearing masks because of COVID and we're all wearing gloves or, we're all social distancing, washing our hands a lot, doing that, I believe there's going to be less of the flu season. Do you agree? Who agrees with me on that? Who sees that? Who sees that? You mentioned doing an intro. I'm assuming virtual. What does that look like? Wow, Sensei Mish, that's a whole webinar within itself. And I think I covered that in how to earn 550 online students. But it really is about engagement and connectivity. You know their name. The parent is present. We understand the parent's pain points, what your kid need, confidence, discipline, and then we go for that. But right away I pre-frame that they can do online, in person, and outdoor. They know that right away. They understand with the program they enroll in that they're going to get a 15-minute private lesson. They understand we are a life skills and martial arts program. These aren't just simply classes, right? Pre-recorded classes you see at YouTube. So they're wonderful, but it's really about, I think, Sensei is understanding your demographic, that person in the evaluation, identifying their pain points and needs, and speaking to them. But it's a whole long thing. I've actually got a couple of recordings of full-on intros I've done that were magical. That were just magic. So at some point, I would love to do a webinar just on teaching a virtual intro because that's it. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And there was a time in my business when I was building the first school, I taught every evaluation. Every evaluation. And I was about a 95% batting average for signups. So I'm doing that, but I'm totally reinventing myself for the virtual realm. We do a virtual board breaking, and it's so fun. In the end, where they get to break a board virtually, that's powerful, right? We're always reiterating everything that they learn must translate at home. So if I'm teaching focus, which means pay attention, look with your eyes, right? Then I tell you, so make sure you look at your mom when she's talking to you, right? So we're always correlating what that parent needs to hear. If I go, hey, focus means pay attention, look in your eyes. So when I'm driving a car, I have to really pay attention, right? It's irrelevant, sensei. It's irrelevant. But I will look at them and say, sir, make sure when your teachers are teaching you, you listen to them with your ears. Awesome. Make sure when your dad's talking to you that you look at him with your eyes. Every example we use in our classes, in our mat chats, which is all under Kids Life Skills, Sensei Mish. I developed that 10 years ago. It's used in 450 schools worldwide. Charter schools are using it. Parents are using it at home. It's built for that. It's built for that. So we make sure any example you offer has to be only two things: school and home. Now with virtual being at home, home and home. Why would I talk about me driving a car? It's irrelevant to a kid. And that parent, it doesn't add value, zero value. But if I say control is having power over yourself, and then I'm looking at this kid and this is evaluation, I say, so make sure, because mom's already told me he hits his sister. Is it good control if you hit your sister, sir? No, sir. Great. So good control would be to keep your hands to yourself. Awesome. And if your sister's bothering you, have good control and go tell your parent. See, things like that, right? You want to make sure any example you offer in life skills education is only school and home. School and home. And it pertains to the parent and respect and making the house manageable, all those things. All those things. But I witness instructors all the time go off on the deep end on Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles or Power Rangers and go, show me focus like Michelangelo. What? I'm a parent. I don't give a crap about Michelangelo. But if you say, okay, we're gonna do this cool focus exercise, all right? I want you to look at mom, and I'm gonna look at mom too. Okay, I'm looking in my camera. You look at mom too, and we're gonna see who could be the most still and look at mom without moving. Ready, set, go. Ah, you win. You got better focus than me. You see? Something like that. I engaged mom. I engaged the kid. He's looking at mom. I'm looking in the device. I'm in the living room, and the band played on. Right? So there's an example, and that's what I believe is going to really make a huge difference. Really, really make a huge difference. Yeah. I know that was open ended. I would attend that webinar. Oh, the one on yeah. Okay, so maybe we'll plan one of those. K1. We'll do a webinar for teaching a virtual intro, and we can call. What I love doing in those environments is what if, right? Appreciative inquiry. That's a great book to read. Find it. It's very short. It's thin. I've read it like 10 times. Appreciative inquiry. What if, right? And you focus on the good things. What if we took your smile and we amplified that and you did it 10 times a day instead of once? What if, right? So again, taking something positive and amplifying that. It's powerful in leadership and team training. And it's something that I'm passionate about. Cool. All right. What do we got next, K1? I want to begin focusing on helping more of adults and parents. What are your thoughts on a Krav Maga program? I don't teach Krav Maga, so I've taken it. I've taken courses in it and stuff over my life. Do I believe? I think Krav Maga is no different than Kung Fu, is no different than BJJ, is no different than Kenpo Karate, no different than Shotokan. It's you, right? It's not what you teach, it's why you teach it and how you teach it, right? Because the average parent, the average consumer does not know the difference between Krav Maga, Jiu Jitsu, Karate, Kung Fu. So I don't believe you can or cannot teach Krav Maga to kids and adults. You can absolutely do it. My good buddy Patrick Valor is killing it with his Muay Thai programs out in Stockton. Everybody takes it. You know why? Because he's passionate about it. He loves Muay Thai. He loves the culture. He loves everything about it. So he's able to market it to Joe E. Public successfully. But it begins and ends with you, sir. It's what you love. And if you love it, now, thin line here, you're not marketing to you. You're not selling to you. You're not teaching you. So please don't misconstrue this. But it has to begin with you. And if it fits your value systems and you love it and you're passionate about it, guess what? It's like the ripple effect. I drop a pebble in a water, a little bitty pebble, and it ripples out this way. It's the same thing here. If you truly are passionate about it, then you're going to cultivate that tribe. And you're going to find that niche demographic that likes Krav Maga, that digs the Israeli fighting and wants that type of training. And I know there's so many great Krav systems out there now with belt systems and all that. I know with children and parents, I need a tangible way to measure my progress. So a belt system, striping, and all that stuff should be present in Krav Maga, right? And definitely with the adults, we amplify that and get to the point where they really can defend themselves, right? So what does that look like? What does that look like? And of course, marketing, social media posts, all that. If everything I see in a photo, and this is, I think, the challenge with Krav Maga, if I'm there and the first thing I see you do is like break my nose and kick me in the nuts, I might not go there. I might not go there. I might do a soft thing where, hey, this is Brandon Belisa for Krav Maga in San Francisco. And a lot of people don't, have misconceptions about Krav Maga. We're a community. Show a shot of people with arms around each other. And it's about empowerment, right? Again, if everything's just break, break, hit, break, it's a war, it's Israeli fighting. I think sometimes that could be a huge turnoff. When I look at a lot of the Krav Maga schools, and please, this is only one dimensional. My viewpoint on this is very limited, so take it with a grain of salt. It tends to be that demographic, like MMA, 18 to 35-year-old men. And then you've got a whole nother demographic that I saw, the executive, the guy with the midlife crisis in his 40s, right? But he's got bank and stuff, and he wants to get in there and feel like he can bust somebody up if he needs to. I've seen that whole market. So who is it, right? Who is it? And how do you want to cater to them? So find it. Find that market, make sure they got the money, because you want to sustain your product and not have this heavy attrition rate, this turnover rate, and really focus on one, progression, and two, creating that culture and tribe, unlike anything else out there, right? Anything else out there. Cool? I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Good. Huh? Oh, we have one more question? Oh, man, we're almost out of time. See how fast this goes by? Oh, wait. Ashton, what are some ways to help lead the team and help them be successful in their job? Actions. I'm trying to word correctly. Example, sir. You lead by example. That's it. In your every thought, word, and action, lead by example. Done day. And I think that's one of the most challenging things. And please, again, don't get me wrong. I suffer from it too. I think I've dropped close to 16 pounds, in the past 3 weeks, because I recognized I was getting myself a COVID belly. And when you can't see your belt knot, that's a bad day. That's a bad day. That's a bad example of leadership, unless it's medicinal, right, or a thyroid issue, right? And this isn't a discussion. Well, big guys move really fast. You say I can't do martial arts. I never said that. I'm just saying, if I visually know that you sell fitness and I visually see a guy that's overweight, I might be a little challenged with coming into that school, right? We're going to preach fitness, yet we don't live by example. So I think example is really big, Ashton. And I've said this one passionately, and I'll say it again. Great leaders do not create followers. Great leaders inspire followers to become leaders. So that's really it. I want a bunch of leaders that play well together, right? Because everyone's bringing something to the table. And that's really important. If I have creative input in a company and you implement my ideas, I feel I'm part of the bigger picture. But if I'm just a yes man who comes to work and punches in and punches out, like the kid making French fries at McDonald's, I'll never stay with your school. I'll never want to be part of your team long term, because I don't see a future in that. People today need to be creative. They need to be purpose driven, right? Because that's what's getting us through this pandemic. I have purpose driven people that are working way beyond their pay scale, working way beyond anything there, including me. But see, that's the example set. My bills are paid, but I've made no money this year, no great profit other than my investments, right? But in my physical business of these martial arts schools, I've made enough to pay my bills, where normally, the number I'm taking is six figures, right? But that's an example of leadership. I took a cut in pay, my team didn't. See, so leaders are the ones to sacrifice for the team. They're the first ones. If you think about a V of birds flying, Ashton, that lead bird takes all the wind. He cuts all that wind so the other birds can rest. And guess what? When he gets tired, you know what happens? He drops out and somebody else pops in. That's a bunch of leaders who understand that leaders have to lead, and leaders sometimes step back and let other people lead. That's great leadership. So I think you want to encourage that in your culture, Ashton. Have people lead from day one. It's called the triage. And I first heard this many years ago, but Greg Horton amplified that for me. And somebody else, I believe it was maybe Apollo, somebody, I saw it where you have three students training together. Each one takes turns leading the class in these three-student triage, right? That way, people are learning leadership as white belts. You don't wait until they're freaking 2 years in, then you wrote them some lame leadership program. I think that's lame. Right? I don't have black belt clubs. I don't have leadership clubs. I don't have masters clubs. Why? They promote separatism. They promote elitism. Right? When I walk into your school, I say blue uniform, red uniform, white uniform, black uniform. What team is this? Now you imagine seeing your favorite football, baseball, basketball team, and they're all wearing different uniforms. It doesn't promote that culture, that oneness, that uniformity. You come into my schools, everybody's in black. Oh, coincidence, huh? I love black. It's my thing. It always has been. So it's part of our culture. So that's also important for me, Ashton, as well. Right? I know that's a long-winded question, but what I'm really trying to challenge you to do, Ashton, is through your own creative thinking, through your own disruptive behavior, be the leader by example. Look at your culture, look around you. How can we, that what if? What if we did this? Would that encourage better leadership amongst our team? What if we did this? How would that? What if? What if? Right? Keep going with that. Cool. Are we out of time, K1? Or do we got one more question there on the bottom? What are the timeline or subjects discussed at It's Time Live? Well, for the one coming up in November, Nicholas, and like I shared with you, I am going to put a couple of slots out to the people attending. I always do that. What do you need? Right? So I have two of the subjects will be that. One of the main topics is going to be the life skill of empathy. I've learned that being more understanding and understanding empathy is what? To be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and see the world through their eyes. If you can do that, imagine how easy it is to market to Joe E. Public, right? And I watch a lot of people going, you snowflakes in California. You think I want to come into your school? You snowflakes wearing masks, blah, blah, blah. I'll never walk into your school. Never, never, ever. So if you're taking that position, and I saw that one guy did that in Florida, his mask law said, we don't wear masks here. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Oh God, that's how many people are never going to walk into his school. Might think it's cool. It's a Cobra Kai thing or something. I don't know. I don't know. But you see where I'm going with that? If I can be empathetic to the whole demographic that's filled with fear and uncertainty, I'm going to tap into a market that nobody has. If I can be more empathetic in my in my language, in my systems, in the way I work with my team, then I'm going to endear that team to me. If I can be more empathetic, Nicholas, with my current tribe, I'm going to endear them to me. So how do I learn? What different practices, what different systems, what different rituals do I need to put in place to become more empathetic? That's step one. But then how do I take that empathy and write a system for my team in teaching a class? How do I take that empathy and use it when I'm on the phone in an evaluation or in an evaluation virtually? So how does that translate? Tremendously. Empathy is going to be a big one. Service is going to be another one. I think the reason we're so successful approaching 600 students virtually is because we understand how to serve people at the highest level virtually with the connectivity and engagement. But you know what that started with, Nicholas? Our commitment to service, our passion for service. Living and dying by that service and saying, well, how can I serve you better virtually? How can I serve you better in a parking lot? How can I serve you better now that we're opening the doors finally for indoor classes? How can I serve you better? And number one is fear, right? The fear and the uncertainty and the safety that you offer. How can I serve you better? So it's taking service in this brave new world and working it into conversations, working it into phone calls, working into systems, into classes, all of it. So that'll be a whole nother subject, sir. A whole nother subject, right? There's just this, my hair is standing up on my arms. I've never been challenged this much to write this kind of content, honestly. It's in my wheelhouse, but the deep research that I'm doing, the deeper layers outside of our industry to cultivate this, I want to know why Apple stock is shot through the roof and why Apple is making so much. I want to know why Amazon controls 40% of the consumer market. I want to know why and how we can leverage that in our businesses, right? Jeff Bezos made something like $17 billion in one day. All I want to do is leverage mine data just a little bit of that data from Amazon and be able to offer it to you in actionable steps so you can go out there, Nicholas, and be profitable, right? Think about that. If he can do 17 billion in one day, couldn't we mine some of his data to help you create $1,000 in a day, $2,000 in a day? I believe so. I believe so. But it will always be done through the eyes of a passionate martial artist who's based upon service and helping people live their best life. That's what I do all day, every day. Cool. So that's the tip of the iceberg with that. And as you can see, I'm into it. I love it. I love this data. I love it because I'm appalled that suicide, alcoholism, domestic violence, divorce, drug addiction, it's at an all-time high. We have a unique opportunity to nip that in the bud. Another subject I'm working on too that I'm going to present is anybody that can figure out how to help kids overcome this post-traumatic stress syndrome, helping kids become more resilient, helping kids become more adaptive to this environment, you're going to be in an amazing position. And we know it's life skills based, but can you cultivate that content based upon what? 6 months of data? Never before have we been through this pandemic. So this data we're mining is old data already. That's the thing with technology. So my research is going to go on up until the day of the event because what was good 6 months ago, it's gone now. It's gone. It's freaking gone because the world is ever changing at breakneck speed, and it's a lot of it's due to technology. It really, really is. It really is. All right, cool. Hey, so thank you for today. So let me start by thanking my sponsors, then we'll announce the winner. So thank you to my sponsors, My Studio, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. I do know Stephen Reinstein is going to be one of my special guests at It's Time Live, the virtual event. So I'm looking forward to that. I've already challenged Stephen. I said, Stephen, what I want you to do is dissect your website and tell me psychologically why these are the top 8 things you do on your websites that's going to engage and connect me with a potential client. So I believe if we can learn that type of information, why does he put this color here? Why does he use this font here? How does that engage the public? And how I can take that learning and apply it to content I write at social media, take that and apply it to content I do when I make an in-house brochure. I think it's valuable. Stephen Reinstein's on the cutting edge of websites, and we know websites are our storefront. Websites are today's yellow pages. Websites are it in that capacity. So I want to pick Stephen's brain, and I want to know these 8 key elements because if we understand how it engages and connects our potential client, that we can leverage that information and put it into our social media posts. We can leverage that information and put it into our brochures, even in our class, even in our phone conversations. You feel me? Yeah, so that's the type of disruptive learning we're going to get into. And remember, we're giving away a disruptor t-shirt, a new edition one I'm designing. Guess what color? It's going to be black and white. And you save, right? What a great team building experience because it's going to open your team's mind to a whole new world, a whole new thinking they never thought of. And they will understand martial arts is not only a career, it's a lifestyle, and it's something they can be wildly profitable with. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. All right. So ready. I just wish you could be here already. Yeah, me too, Ashton, because I do. My hair stands up on my arm because I've never been pushed like this. I know how to teach you about systems and all those things, and but to sit there and be pushed at this level, I mean, it's a whole nother day for myself, and I'm digging it. All right, so we have a winner. What does the winner win? The winner is going to win a 1-hour phone call with me. With Brannon Beliso, it's a $300 coaching fee being waived, right? One of my clients was a clinic, a health clinic, and he'd hire me by the hour. We sit on the phone and we chop it up, right? It's better you pay me $300 than you make a $10,000 mistake. So the winner will get this free today. Who's our winner? K1. Ivan! Ivan, you are the winner. Ivan, you are the winner. You are the winner. Cool, cool, cool. K1, someone's asking how much is the event? You and your team can come for one price. And I encourage you to bring your team because if you're all sitting here together in between beats on the break, you can begin planting seeds, right? I'm the farmer mentality. I don't like to hunt. Hunters go out and kill, eat, got to chase, down other prey, kill, eat, follow the prey over there, kill, eat. I'm a farmer, right? I want to cultivate the soil. I want to plant the seeds. I want to watch it grow, pull the weeds, and then have a great crop. There's a great saying I use that we've heard before. Yeah, congratulations, Ivan. Stop trying to be a squirrel who gets the nut. What does a squirrel do? It goes out there and hunts. hunts for nuts, collects the nuts, sticks them in his den, his tree, whatever, and he's got nuts for the winter. No, 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 no. You don't want to be a squirrel trying to get the nut. You want to be the farmer that grows lots of trees with the nuts. So you got plenty of nuts for yourself, plenty of nuts for your team, and plenty of nuts you can go sell and make money off of. You see where I'm going with that? So stop being the squirrel trying to get the nuts. Stop being a hunter. Learn to be a farmer. Cool, cool, cool. All right. One more time. Let me say this is Success Never Sleeps. I am and always will be Brannon Beliso. Thank you to Market Muscles. Thank you to my studio. Thank you to Kids Love Life Skills. And thank you to LC Accounting. Get signed up for It's Time Live, the virtual event. K1 put the link there. I don't know what the cost is. What's the cost right now, K1? It's one. Yeah, it's the discount right now. So take a look at it. I think it's 149 and then it's going up to 199. But it's a 2-day event. It's going to be like 12, 13 hours of content. We're going to do a half day on Saturday, a full day on Sunday. Steven Reinstein will be there. You and your team can come in for on one dime, which I think would be a great event to plant seeds because we're looking at what? 2021, 2022, and 2023. And if you're doing the same old thing, the same old song, it's just, I don't know if that's the direction I would head in. I just don't know. But I do know we're closing in on 600 virtual students. I do know, I'm doing these live webinars that are proving itself to be beneficial to people and profitable. I do know we will teach in the park. We will teach online. We will teach indoors, whatever it takes. Why? Because we're ready for that disruptive thing. I love it. I love it. What a great opportunity to learn about courage, true courage during these times. It's not a bad day. It's actually one of the best days ever. Cool? All right. This is Success Never Sleeps. I am Brannon Beliso. Until we talk again, please go out there.